Welcome back. We just covered part two of our Understanding Our Credit Report and Score. The last session we stopped off on is the importance of pulling your credit report, utilizing the annualcreditreport.com and pulling your credit every quarter using Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Let's continue. Here is an example of how you read your credit report. This is an example of a military star card. Here is where you have your the name, the address and phone number of the creditor. It tells how long you've had the credit open, if it's paid as agreed, as well as if there's any 30, 60, or 90-day lates on there. And it even tells the month of when you had that 30 or 60 or 90-day late payment on there. It also tells me how long it's going to take you to pay, well, the date it opened, and then the high limit and the credit, and as well as how much is past due. So all of that is going to be on that credit report, on that trade line. It's going to show your account number, and sometimes most of the account number is blocked out just for security reasons. But also it's going to tell me if it's revolving, as well as it will tell me if it is an individual or if it's joint. So all of that is factored into your trade line of your credit report. This is an example of a collection agency who's been trying to track your credit down to try to have you to pay. Maybe you had an old cell phone bill or apartment complex that you never paid, or a utility bill. This is an example of a collection agency, their address and phone number, how much is the balance of that collection, as well as who is that collector, who we're collecting on. It'll show what type of status it is on. It will show it's under collection. So this will stay on your credit report for 7 years, as well as 30, 60, and 90-day collections will stay on your credit report for 7 years, and charge-offs as well. So you see why it's important that you pay your bills on time. Dispute items. It's also important that if you need to dispute some things that was on your credit report that were incorrect, or you never made that charge, or you paid something off but it never updated, then we need to do a dispute and correct that information. We can do it by mail. We can call the creditor or the credit agency to make sure that we are following the guidelines on how to dispute our creditor. How to build and maintain good credit. If you have credit, always pay it on time. Always pay it on time. Remember, it's important to manage your money, managing your debt, building wealth, eliminating debt to have a great financial life, right? And to get those things that you want to accomplish and to achieve. As well as if you don't have credit, how to start a credit. Remember, I talked about the secured credit card. Those are that's another way you can establish credit. Or even if you don't believe in credit cards, but you need it for a rental car or what have you, just use a secured credit card through your bank or credit union again. This is what your credit score is factored with. 35% is your payment history. Remember, I talked about the 30, 60, 90-day or collections that you have. 35% is that your credit history, okay? 30% is how much you owe. How much do you owe on that credit card? Previous example was $3,000. So let me go back on here where this says credit limit 500, but the balance is 600. When you see that, that's going to definitely decrease your credit score. When you're over the balance, I don't care if you're over the limit $1, that's still going to decrease your credit score. So when we want to, definitely pay your credit card off each month. But if you're working on trying to bring that balance down and you're paying more than the minimum, definitely try to achieve it down to that 30% of what the credit limit is. Then 15% is the length of credit history. It's important that if you do have a credit card and you've paid that credit card off, don't close it. Keep it open. Shred the credit card, and you don't have to use it again. Because we want to see the history of how long you've had credit established. Once you close that credit card, it shows that that credit history has been closed as well. So we want to maintain a history when we're going to apply for different types of loans, or to show that credit score that is, which is factored into that. Other things are new credit, 10%. Maybe you have a credit card, you have uh, that you've opened in October, you opened something in November. So you don't want to show that you're opening a lot of unsecured debt. That brings down your credit score as well. Other factors is 10%. Maybe you just have a credit card, major credit card, and then you have a car loan and your mortgage. Those simple three credit. As long as you're paying it on time, credit score will look great. How do I improve my credit? How do you improve it? Just always pay your bills on time. Do not have on your credit report the 30, 60, 90 days, the collections and charge-offs. If you're having financial difficulties, again, I always refer you to come back to us. We're certified financial counselors, and we can look at those things, especially if you feel that you're going into bankruptcy, you're going into repossessions or foreclosure or anything like that. Let's come together to find a plan that's how we could resolve some of your issues there. Pros and cons of credit. Advantage of having credit, you don't need to have a lot of cash on hand, right? So maybe you're using it to online shop, and then you're paying that bill off each month. So that's good credit. That's an advantage of having credit, and not having maybe that credit card. You don't have to have that cash on hand. You're able to dispute purchases, like you're able to dispute, you call your bank or credit union, and then you have the maximum liability of $50. And then the disadvantage, however, you can overspend, right? You can overspend. You can just use that card for, like, we have the holidays coming up, or we have certain events that's coming up, and you just swipe in the card, not thinking that you have to pay that money back. The poor use of a credit score. Spending beyond your means. Could you really afford that car? Could you really afford that new computer? Could you really afford that house? So look at those types of things. Okay, you're always paying for your past. Remember that. Impact of your credit score. This is an example of a 4-year car loan of $15,000, and then someone having a variety of credit scores. Okay, so let's say someone has a credit score between 590 and 619, and they want that $15,000 loan, but their interest rate on that car is 18.1%. Their monthly payment is $441, versus someone who's had great credit of between 720 and 850 at a rate of 5.3%. Of course, you probably could get a rate even lower than that, depending on your financial institution. And then the monthly payment with someone who has a great credit score is $100 cheaper. So that's the difference between having great credit versus not so great credit. But also, when you don't have credit established, you're probably going to get that high rate, right? So again, start off with a secured credit card. Steps towards resolving trouble. Contact your lenders immediately. You're going through financial difficulties. Maybe you need to have a deferment on your loan. Maybe you need some modification done. Work with your lenders. That's what they're there for. See what the type of plans they have out there to help you. Pay your bills when they are due. Always pay your bills when they are due. Have what you're going to, when you're sitting there and you're doing your budget, have what you're going to pay between the 1st and the 15th and the 16th and the 30th. Or if you get paid once a month, have all of those bills lined out on who do you need to pay, when are they due, and pay them. Also, get with one of us. As a financial counselor, we're here to assist you when it comes to your budgeting, your credit, your money management, your investment needs as well. Debt consolidation. Be careful on who you use, because some of the debt consolidation places are high interest places, and usually they're just there to get some of your money and never resolving the issue when you can really do it yourself. So I highly recommend a method that you can pay your debts off a little at a time when we talk about debt snowball. Here's an example of debt snowballing. You can do your debt snowball through powerpay.org, a great website where you can plug in your debts. What you want to have ready is your balance on your debt, your monthly payment, and your interest rate. So here's an example. Let's just say this is your Star Card monthly payment, your major credit card, another credit card, your personal loan, and your car loan. So what you want to do is, once you finish paying this balance off, let's just say this balance is $200, and then you're done paying for this balance, you roll that $50 over into the next debt. Now you're paying $125. Once this debt is complete, you roll it over to this debt. It's a snowball effect. You can do it in two methods. You can either start with the lowest balance first, or you can do it with the highest interest rate first. When clients come to me, we always look at, especially with debt, we always look at a plan for the snowball effect. And we keep on track of everything to make sure we're following our goals. We put it in an action plan as well. This is a great way to start eliminating debt and building wealth. Repossessions, you still usually owe a balance once that car is even sold from the lender, and you still owe a balance. You can also contact them to set up a payment to pay that to help pay that balance off. You can do it as a settlement as well as a monthly payment. It shows that you're establishing some type of to resolve the issue, as well as it could show that when you have a security clearance issue, that you're trying to resolve that issue as well. Foreclosure, you still have a balance, same as you would if you had a repo, and then you want to work out a balance with them, or that goes into a collection status, and remember that stays into your credit report for 7 years. Bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 7 years as well. I'm sorry, not 7 years, 10 years. Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and you want the bankruptcy to be the last result. So we want you to come to us first. Let's look at things to try to resolve your debt issues, make a payment plan, and let's look at bankruptcy as a last result. Other things that could be on your credit report are judgments and liens, foreclosures, garnishments, and things like that. Your credit and career. Your security clearance is very important. So it's important, the reason why we want to pull that credit report, remember, to make sure that your credit looks good before that security clearance comes out, because you could be a disqualifier for your security clearance. Okay, your security clearance could be revoked. You can be denied of clearance. You only have 60 days to address these concerns. We do help out with security clearances as well. We pull your credit. We look over the issues with you. We try to work out a payment plan, as well as we put it into the budget to make sure you could afford that. Okay? And remember, if you're married, your debts aren't consolidated. Your debt isn't consolidated unless you guys signed as joint. Okay? So you want to be sure of that. Divorce, close joint accounts, revoke power of attorneys, and refinance loans in one person's name. Okay, so if you're going through a divorce and your spouse is responsible for the car loan, have the spouse to refinance it into their name. Credit and deployment, get your affairs in order, pull your credit to make sure no one's put anything in your name. Take a look at your credit situation, and look into the Soldier Civil Relief Act. Especially if you came into the military and you had a car loan before coming into the military, and you were on 12%, you can have that rate reduced. And we can talk more about that. You can give us a call and we can discuss that as well. Identity theft. Again, that is very important, that the reason why we pull our credit, to ensure that no one else has got our information out there that's committed a fraud on our credit report. You can also put initial fraud alert or an extended fraud alert on your credit report. Protect yourself with identity theft. Check your financial statements promptly. Review your credit report annually. Remember the every quarter, every 4 months. Shred and destroy information. Make sure you have a shredder around or purchase you one so you can have that information put away. Here are some other helpful resources. Again, we have ACS. Excuse this number here. It's actually 787-4227. We have our Army One Source, and we have JAG as well, and we have the Federal Trade Commission information. I hope this information has helped some of you. Again, you can contact us at Army Community Service. My name is Ayana. Again, we could be reached at 808-787-4227. Thank you and have a great day.